Welcome to Women in WP, a bi-monthly podcast about women who blog, design, develop, and more in the WordPress community. Welcome to the show. I'm Amy Masson.
And I'm Tracy Apps.
And our guest today is Afshana Diya, who is digital strategist and CMO of WPDeveloper.net and the only female co-organizer of the WordPress Dhaka Meetup.
Hi, thanks for having me.
We're so happy to have you today. What we like to do when we start our show is ask our guests to tell us how they got started in WordPress. So how did you find WordPress?
It was back in 2010 when I was barely 17, I think. I was just starting my high school. So I tried to start the blogging, and then my brother introduced WordPress, and that's the starting. And when I started my high school and university, throughout the whole time I created content for different platform, and all of those website was built with WordPress. So I got pretty comfortable with the platform. But if you ask me about the WordPress community, I got introduced in 2017, I think. Yes.
So when you were in high school, you started a blog. What were you blogging about?
I was actually writing about the movies I was watching and series I was watching, and also some book review and games I was playing. I was trying to review all of those things. Yeah.
That's awesome. And so when you're 17 and you start doing movie reviews and book reviews, do you have a goal in mind, or did you just want to like put your thoughts out there?
Actually, I didn't have much goal, but I wanted to improve my writing probably, and I am not pretty comfortable with writing on paper. So online was the good place to get started. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm terrible at writing on paper too. My hand
Me
doesn't
too.
work that way anymore. I can't even write a check. It's like, how does this work? I don't understand this pen. It doesn't fit in my hand.
You know, because I have an Apple Pen, and then I have the iPad, and then I use the software that I use to write on. I can undo by, tapping with 2 fingers. So now I do that on sticky notes too. And I was like, oh, nope,
No.
nope, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So, so now you have pretty much, your career is around within WordPress. What I always wonder though is, what if WordPress wasn't around, what do you think you would be doing?
Actually, when I finished my undergrad, I had major in marketing and e-business. So I joined, my full-time job was in a digital marketing agency. And I think if WordPress would not be in here, I would be working on digital marketing stuff focusedly. But after working for a while in digital marketing agency in Bangladesh, I realized the scope of work is very limited, since in Bangladesh, digital marketing agency and digital marketing, it's all about social media marketing mainly. So I thought I don't want to keep myself within this limit. I want to go out of the horizon. So that time I decided to move out from the digital marketing agency, and suddenly, just when I was deciding, I got invited to join in a WordPress product company back in Bangladesh. And that's the time when I got fully involved with the WordPress professionally and personally, and with all my heart, I think.
I love that. Like, we were talking, you're to figure out that and like do those changes so young. Like, I know so many people, and I was like, oh, I'm stuck in this is what I is, and you're just like, nope, I'm gonna
No, actually, I realized within the 6th month of my first job.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. So what is the community like around in your area?
Um, in Bangladesh, we had a WordPress community from 2011 when I was not involved at all. We had a unofficial WordPress community with 22,000 people right now.
22,000.
Yes.
Wow.
How do you have a meetup with 22,000 people?
No. But we have meetup with like 200, 300 people, which is almost like a WordCamp for many
Still,
places.
that's impressive.
So that was from 2011, but when I got pretty active in WordPress community, and I would say in 2017, I joined the WordCamp in Singapore and WordCamp Jakarta in Indonesia. In WordCamp Jakarta, I met Rocio from community team. So I was talking with her, and we had a situation in Dhaka, like we had the unofficial group and we had the official group, but the main organizers and the oldest one who were more experienced in WordPress, they were in unofficial group. So me and Rocio was talking about how we can combine two groups and finally organize our WordCamp Dhaka. Because that group was been like 6-7 years for long. In different time, different organizer tried to make WordCamp, but it never happened. So after that WordCamp, Rocio invited me to join in the official WordPress group, WordPress Dhaka group. And then I got active. I started organizing WordCamp along with the other organizers. And after 2 years of like 10, 15 meetup, we finally organized our first WordPress official WordCamp in Dhaka back in 2019. Which was pretty interesting because in our first WordCamp, it was very expected, and people were very crazy about, excited about this. So when we declared that we will be opening the tickets for WordCamp Dhaka, first 400 ticket got sold out in 14 minutes.
Wow.
Wow.
It's like a concert. Like that's awesome.
So, and then we had a WordCamp for our first WordCamp was for like 800 people almost. And there was a lot of people who didn't get the ticket, who were very frustrated about not getting the tickets. So yes.
That is impressive. Wow. And you say you were the only female organizer on that team? Is that
Yes.
how
We
were the speakers as well? Were there more women speakers, or was it mostly male dominated as well?
we actually had almost no female speaker. Then we
Oh.
had one. We had one female speaker. She's very good at content. So she is also from Bangladesh. But we didn't have any another one. Actually, when we had the whole, like I had organized the WordCamp for 17, 18, and at the end of 19, we had the WordCamp. So in all those meetups, in most of the meetup, not only I was the only organizer, but I was only attendee as well in most of the meetup.
Wow.
How intimidating is that to be the only woman?
Um, uh, at the starting, it was pretty, what should I say? It was pretty awkward. I feel hesitated. But then I realized if I keep thinking about this, I cannot actually move because in some way, our community is not just WordPress. In general, our community is male focused. So if I cannot move forward, so I will be stuck, and also other people who might be interested by seeing me, they will also get stuck. So later I feel comfortable and like I don't care. Okay, whatever you can think, doesn't matter.
That's pretty wise. That is really, that's really awesome. And to have you spearheading that, that's really, really cool. Because it's true. Like that's one of the things that I remember my first like tech meetup. It wasn't a WordPress thing. It was just like web developer kind of people. And because there was one other woman there, like I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's felt comforting. But that's it's amazing that that you're spearheading that. That's really cool.
And have you been working with the other organizers to try to find ways to get more women involved?
Actually, we didn't, since we were not getting any even attendee female, so there was no point of getting an organizer, because first you go out to the meetup and you get used to with the community, and then it's about organizer. But what happened is like in WordCamp Dhaka 2019, at that time we had many female attendees for the very first time, and it felt so good. So now so after that WordCamp, I tried to personally talk to every female who attend the WordCamp, and we make another group for women who WordPress Bangladesh, just to make them feel comfort and come to the meetups. So now we have like around 20 female who are involved in WordPress and in that group. So probably in next time when we are going to organize a new WordCamp, we will get more female speaker organizer, maybe.
That's really awesome. And I love that you branched out and you said we're going to create this group specifically for the women to try and make them feel more comfortable. And I think that's what
I mean, that
needs to be
sounds like
happening.
that sounds familiar. This is why we're here. Same concept.
Yeah, because for Bangladesh, I mean, the organization I was working, all of this organization is WordPress focused. So all of the employees, they are working on WordPress. So I had female colleagues as well who were almost friend to me, but I pushed them to come to the meetup for a long time. But I was not lucky enough, I would say. So yeah, that's actually because people, when they are thinking about to going a meetup where like there will be 70, 80 male and like 2 female, so that idea even make girls uncomfortable, I think.
Yeah,
So
I would feel uncomfortable, I think. So I can see, yeah, it's do you feel like there is a lot more women using WordPress in Bangladesh than are showing up to your meetings?
yes, yes, yes. There are a lot of female developer, designer, but they don't, I would say, feel comfortable or motivated enough to join the meetup. But things are changing after WordCamp. So hopefully in last 2-3 meetup, we see a lot of female. I also organize what beside WordPress Meetup, Elementor Meetup, and Product Hunt Meetup in Dhaka. So in those meetup, we actually see female, even the people I was not personally connected with. So they came by their own willingness. So yeah.
I get that. I was developing and doing things with WordPress for years before I even really realized that there was a community and or had the guts to do anything or go to attend things. So, but it sounds like it's really cool. It's things are starting to really change there. That's really amazing. So for your career now, what what is your day? What does your work look like now?
Um, After that company, I joined WPDeveloper back in 2018. So it's also WordPress product company. So I joined here, and currently I'm running the marketing and business development here. Um, since well, before this, the when I joined the first WordPress company back in 2017, so that company was already doing good without a marketing team. They were selling WordPress plugin and they were doing pretty good, but without marketing team. So one problem I figured out that all of the things uh, in general, Bangladeshi people, developer who are making amazing WordPress product, but they are trying to sell it in a way that developer can understand, not the end user. But uh, for the record, I don't know any coding, so I know how the end user react. So what I try to do in that company and also in my current company, I try to make the product in a way that end user understand it very easily with proper documentation, with proper guidelines, proper landing pages that can actually easy to understand for users. So at WP Developer, when I joined, we had like 50,000 user in WordPress.org. So within 2 years, it's not been 2 years, we reached 700,000 user.
Wow. That's awesome. I mean, it's so true. Like I do user experience design, and if you have to know how to sell the product, like as a user, I don't, what is this going to do for me? And having someone like you to translate that, be like, oh, to connect something that I will actually really enjoy and really like, but I wouldn't know if was not written for me. Do you ever get any like pushback, or do people like with these companies, or people see like, no, and kind of follow through, or what is the struggle? Any things that you have uphill battles on those?
Mm, I did, but I would say in both of these companies, I got pretty freedom to explore a lot of things, which is, I would say I would be very lucky. So I got to explore a lot of different channels and which work best for this WordPress ecosystem and which not. I got to test a lot of A/B testing and figure out things that works for this specific, because as I was working in digital marketing agency, which was at that time I had a client like telecom industry from and the music app and different kind of, so all of these companies has different kind of segment targeting, but this WordPress ecosystem that works pretty differently than even if you consider it with the SaaS industry. WordPress is pretty different. So understanding the community and how these people like to get things, that's important, I would say.
That's so true. And the WordPress community is such a wide range. Do you find that once you started getting more and more involved in like the community activities and organizing, that really helped your job with the marketing side of things?
Yeah, of course, because mm, how much I get connected with the community, I actually understand the whole concept mindset, how it works in this community. Talking about that, I before the WordCamp in Jakarta, I talked to Rocio. Why I never tried to get connected with the community, because it always felt like the community is for developer. Community is for developer. So when I talked with the Rocio, and I realized no, because at WordCamp Jakarta there was a lot of people who are just designer, who are content creator, who are marketer, which I never saw in Bangladesh. So all of the organizers are pure developer, hardcore developers. So yes, so at that WordCamp I realized, so yes, you can get involved in the community without even doing any coding.
Yeah, we've definitely seen that through our guests on the show in all walks of life, in all different ways. Even people that are just using WordPress to blog for their own enjoyment are also involved in the community, even if they're not creating or developing websites. That there's still a place for everybody.
Hi, Women in WP listeners. This is Angela with a quick note from our sponsor, Malcare. The thing I like most about Malcare is how simple it is to use. Unlike other security plugins that have an array of confusing options that you have to figure out whether or not to turn on and if they will break your site, is you simply install and activate Malcare. That's it. It blocks brute force attacks to your site instantly and protects your site with a firewall. Regular security plugins are quite resource intensive because if they provide any sort of scanning, the scanning happens directly on your hosting server, which can really slow down your site. Malcare, on the other hand, copies your site encrypted to their dedicated cloud servers. So all of the scanning processes occur in the cloud, ensuring that Malcare never impacts the performance of your site. Malcare's regular, deep, clean scanning of your files and database can dynamically detect even the most complex malware. This ensures that you're the first to know if your site or client site has been hacked. Using Malcare's one-click instant removal tool makes your site malware-free in minutes at a fraction of the price of other security services. To get started with Malcare and take advantage of their expert team of security support, please visit malcare.com Women in WP for 10% off your first year of protection, or see the show notes for a link. Now back to the show.
So I wanted to ask you, I know you mentioned when you were at university, you studied e-marketing, and I graduated from college 20 years ago, so e-marketing was not a thing. So I wondered if you could tell me a little bit about what studying e-marketing is like.
No, not e-marketing. I had dual major in marketing and e-business.
Oh, e-business. Okay.
Yes.
So how e-business? Tell me about what that entails.
E-business, it was focused on the e-commerce and how you build website using WooCommerce, Magento and all, and how do you configure stuff. So that was actually practical courses, I would say, because in other courses you get more of the theoretical learning, but e-business was focused on the practical and about web content creations, even about a landing page and all. So it was actually good in terms of what other courses we took, because those are the things exactly I can use in my current professions. Yes.
So you were using WordPress in university and building sites with WooCommerce.
Yes.
Wow.
We actually had assignment and project on those.
You had an assignment and a project with WooCommerce.
Yes.
And what can I just now I need to really know what your project was about.
The project was about creating a e-commerce site using a chosen platform. So since WordPress and WooCommerce was pretty easy to use, so my faculty chose WooCommerce, and for my project, I built a book website using WooCommerce where you can lend books inside the university students and all, because that was one of the problem we were facing at that time.
I love it. I need that for puzzles, because now I just need to, puzzle exchange like that. It's one of the things when I think we would first started talking, and we hear this a lot, like anytime we interview someone that's younger, it's this, I know a lot of people like struggle, even my age, with this amount of experience, whatever, have this struggle of like, oh, well, I just, I don't do that. I'm, not like, I'm young. I don't have this, but honestly, from like the experience you had in college, like I didn't learn that. I had to self teach myself. So I would say you're probably better versed in that than I am. And I've been working on this stuff for 20 years. So like, I think that's really a testament to see and how you've just taken that and run with it and created your career. It's really impressive. It's really great.
Thank you. I would say I was lucky.
Now I want to go back to college and take these classes.
It was actually a good decision because when I took e-commerce, that was the very first year of that my university was offering that major. So all of my classmates were like doing major in accounting, finance, marketing, human resource, and all. And I was decided that I will do major in e-commerce, and everyone was like laughing at it. But then I figured out that was actually good decision.
Who's laughing now?
Yeah, exactly. Especially now, you think, because we talk about, me and my friends talk about this, like, what does the future look like with the aftermath once the pandemic, every sort of big historical moment like this changes how we do things. And one thing I've been noticing this is I get everything online now. And so the crucial, like, and seeing businesses in my city closing up if they didn't have some way of, buying something online or being delivered or be able to pick it up on, curbside. And it's that really, it's like crucial now. It's like, it's not just a website. I need to add a website. Is like, that's to the core I've seen from this pandemic.
Yeah, true. Because things are moving too fast and too slow at the same time.
So true.
So when you're traveling to these other WordCamps, so you went to Singapore, and where was the other one?
Jakarta, Indonesia.
Were those before the one that you had in Dhaka?
Yes. That was back in 2017. After that, I joined the WordPress Meetup group in Dhaka.
And how was the experience at these other WordCamps versus the one that you helped organize? How did that influence the conference for you?
One thing was common that after every WordCamp, for me and I see a lot of other people, we got super motivated to contribute to the community. So, and since we already had many years of experience with this unofficial WordPress community, so we needed an official one, a WordCamp to um, take it for further. Uh, for example, before WordCamp Dhaka, I was seeing very few limited people were actually traveling in different countries like Singapore, Jakarta, India, Thailand to attend WordCamp. But after WordCamp Dhaka happened, uh, that was back in September 2019. In 2020, there was a WordCamp. The WordCamp Asia was supposed to happen in February. So we had like 100+ people who had the ticket to join WordCamp Asia. So that happened after WordCamp Dhaka happened.
Oh,
Were you
that's
planning to go?
Yeah, I mean, we all had the tickets and all, and then the pandemic hits.
yeah, that's really sad. Especially like that's some good kind of, like you say, like this motivating, and now you're kind of cut off at the knees.
Yeah, actually, at that February, the outbreak was not that big, so a lot of people actually went and joined the unofficial meetup of Bangkok meetup groups. Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
I was supposed to join the panel. The first panel I was supposed to join at WordCamp.
Oh, wow. I think we've all had a lot of WordCamp disappointments for 2020. I just off topic a little bit. I'm just curious, what is the pandemic situation where you are? Is it bad? Is it under control?
It was pretty good till last month, but right now it's going bad. Right now we have like 70,000 plus infected people, and it's increasing every day. And for myself, I am like in home for last 90 days. Oh man.
Yeah, so how is that for you?
Oh, that's crazy. Actually, the first I was supposed to join WordCamp Asia, and since I love to travel, so I had planned to go to Thailand and Laos together. I had flight ticket, and then it got canceled. And then I got invited to speak at WordCamp DC in the US, and also in WordCamp Pennsylvania. So I also got the ticket for USA, and that also got cancelled.
Yeah. Are you thinking about did you think about everything about applying or attending any of the virtual WordCamps?
I was actually waiting to see if things get normal in short time, but it doesn't feel like it's going to happen. So I will probably start. What about you guys?
I
You joined the
have
WordCamp Europe?
we were going to be there.
We were
Yeah,
supposed to be there, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to be traveling around there as well, but now I've been seeing a lot more I think Minnesota, they're doing fully virtual. And so like, I've been applying to speak at some of these as well. We'll see how it goes. Like I don't know how a live stream talk would go.
You can also record.
Yeah, exactly. But one thing I think reason why I love speaking at WordCamps is because I love like that audience is one, it's so diverse. It's so, I get the challenge of creating a talk that's all different levels. It's gonna be, people are gonna be able to relate to. But it's also such a supportive community. And I never feel um judged, so I think for doing an online conference, I'd rather do it at a WordCamp, because that's a nice welcoming environment.
And did you guys join the WordCamp Europe online?
I have not. I didn't. I ended up my business, like my work has not slowed down at all. And actually kind of picked up. So all of these, like, I learned how to make bread. I'm like, I slept 4 hours, so that was good. Like, so yeah,
Yeah,
I've been trying to fit some of these in, but it's hard.
I am struggling with the idea of attending virtually just because my day job is sitting here at my computer all day long. And do I really want to go to a conference on a weekend during my time off and sit in front of my computer? It's
So, you know what my idea is? I found like if you can stream to a TV and sit on the couch, and it feels different.
That is a good point. That is a excellent hack.
Actually, before joining WordCamp Europe online, I also had the same idea. I mean, it should not feel like the physical one, but at some point there was a breaking room, coffee room during the WordCamp, and like people were randomly talking. Because the idea of in WordCamp, you see a very low number of session, but you actually talk with the people. So I was thinking what will happen in online WordCamp, but then I saw that in break rooms there was people randomly talking, and I see some sponsor also organize the quiz, online quiz and all. So all of the people actually tried to make it more lively as much as possible, but definitely we all missed the WordCamp physically.
Oh yeah, the hallway track was always my favorite. It was the most beneficial of just meeting people in the hallway and talking and laughing and all that stuff. It's really forced us to be creative, which I find exciting as a creative. Like,
I'm really gonna miss WordCamp US this year. That's always been my favorite, my once a year where I get to meet up with all of my nerd friends and just be nerdy and geek out. And I just don't know if I can bring myself to do it online. I guess we'll see once, October rolls around. Were you thinking about doing WordCamp US ever?
Yeah, I actually had the plan to join WordCamp US this year, since I was already planning for WordCamp DC. So there will be less. I already have the visa, so there will be less hassle. I would actually think to join for the first time, and this happened.
I hope they can extend that. I mean, these are extreme
Yeah,
circumstances.
maybe next year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I've been getting like my rewards points. They're like, yeah, they would expire, but I'm like, I can't. I'm not flying anywhere, so.
No, I'm not ready to get on a plane anywhere for sure. I keep seeing low cost. I get emails with the low cost airfare, and I'm like, oh, look, Tokyo for $500. But yeah, I just can't do it. But, I guess that's where we are right now. And it's something we all have to figure out how to, just continue on and make it through.
Yeah, because all of us, like who were working online, especially the software industry, I think most of the people got even a lot more pressure during this remote work than the usual thing. So one of the thing is like we got more workload, and another thing is like since you don't have commute time, so you get at least some time to work on online. I mean, developing yourself or something. Like I recently joined WordPress community team as deputy. So that's one thing that I want to contribute sometime, which I was not doing in last few years probably. So I can actually focus on those things, and also some other courses and materials that can improve myself, that how I can help others. So a good thing about this pandemic.
Well, it's been really great to have you on today. Before we go, can you tell everybody where they can find you online?
In Twitter and Instagram. Instagram is my favorite place.
I actually was creeping on you a little bit on Instagram and looking at your beautiful photos from, I assume, when you could still travel.
Sorry.
So
Are you laughing
creepy.
at me because I'm
It's good.
creeping?
Yep. No, it's fine. That's awesome.
So there's a lot of beautiful photos if you check out Afshana's Instagram.
It's Afshana Diya.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was wonderful chatting.
Thank you for listening. Interested in being on the show? Sign up on our website, womenandwp.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and join our Facebook group to have conversations with other women in WordPress.